Diddy goes nuts after judge threw his bail out. The air in the courtroom was thick with tension as the clock ticked toward a decision that would change everything for one of the most powerful figures in music history. Sean "Diddy" Combs, the mogul who built an empire that spanned across music, fashion, and media, thought he had it in the bag. After months of legal battles and high-profile media scrutiny, he believed his latest bid for bail was his last shot at freedom. His lawyers had presented a staggering $50 million bail package, one that included home confinement, private security, and strict conditions. But none of it mattered. In a crushing moment of reality, the federal judge overseeing his case delivered a decision that shattered his hopes. Bail was denied. For Diddy, this was more than just a legal setback. It was a humiliating blow to the carefully curated image he had worked so hard to build. A judge's cold words echoed through the courtroom, rejecting his bid for freedom, and as the reality of his situation set in, he lost control. This wasn't just about criminal charges. It was about losing the world he had worked tirelessly to create. His empire, his influence, and his legacy now hung in the balance. He had faced scandals before, but this moment felt different. This time, the allegations were far graver. Sex trafficking, racketeering, and a string of violent accusations that painted a dark picture of a man who had built his empire not just through music, but through control and manipulation. Behind the headlines, there were whispers of a man desperate to avoid facing the music, a man who had used his wealth, power, and influence to create a criminal enterprise that spanned decades. The world watched as his empire crumbled, and the implications were far-reaching. For Diddy, the stakes had never been higher. What was once a world of luxury, fame, and celebrity now seemed like a prison, and not just the one he was physically confined to. In his mind, freedom was a distant dream now slipping further away with each passing day. But this wasn't the end of the story, far from it. As his legal team scrambled to mount one final appeal, the world waited for the next chapter in the saga of a man who had once been untouchable. Was this the unraveling of a legend, or would he rise again stronger than ever? The courtroom drama wasn't over yet, and the world was watching, eager to see what Diddy's next move would be. Would he manage to beat the charges and make a comeback, or was this the fall of a giant? Stay tuned, because the next twist in this legal battle might just change everything. Stay with us as we dive deeper into the details of the case and uncover the shocking revelations that could send shockwaves through the world of entertainment. Sean Combs, more commonly known by his stage names Puff Daddy P. Diddy, and simply Diddy, was born on November 4th, 1969, in Harlem, New York City, to a single mother, Janice Combs. From the very beginning, his life was marked by hardship. His father, Melvin Combs, was tragically murdered when Diddy was just a toddler, a loss that would shape his early years. Raised by his mother, a teacher and a model of resilience, Diddy was no stranger to adversity. Despite the challenges he faced, his mother instilled in him a deep belief in the importance of hard work, ambition, and the pursuit of excellence. As a child, Diddy's life was far from easy, but he had an undeniable drive to succeed. Raised in the tough streets of Harlem, he quickly learned the value of street smarts. Even as a young boy, he displayed an entrepreneurial spirit that would become his trademark. He began making money by selling candy and working small jobs, but his true passion lay in music, and it was clear from a young age that he was destined for something bigger. Diddy attended the prestigious Roman Catholic school Mount St. Michael Academy in the Bronx, where he was known for his charm, his charisma, and his larger-than-life personality. However, it wasn't just his personality that set him apart. It was his unrelenting ambition and his drive to carve a path for himself in the world of entertainment. At Howard University in Washington, D.C., he majored in business and communications, but it wasn't long before he realized that he was meant for something beyond the confines of academia. He dropped out of college after 2 years to pursue a career in the music industry, determined to make his mark. In 1993, Diddy landed an internship at Uptown Records, a major step in his journey to becoming one of the most influential figures in hip-hop and R&B. During his time at Uptown, Diddy quickly demonstrated his sharp business acumen and ability to recognize and nurture talent. His most notable discovery was the legendary artist Mary J. Blige, whom he helped shape into a superstar. His work with Blige caught the attention of the music industry, and by 1993, he was promoted to a position as a producer at Uptown. However, Diddy's ambition did not stop there. He eventually left Uptown and founded his own label, Bad Boy Records, in 1993. It was at Bad Boy that Diddy would truly make a name for himself, revolutionizing the music industry and establishing himself as a mogul. The launch of Bad Boy Records was a game-changer in the world of hip-hop. Diddy's vision for the label was clear: to produce chart-topping music that transcended genres and appealed to both hip-hop and mainstream audiences. His first major success came with the debut album of the notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die, which catapulted the rapper to superstardom. Diddy's blend of hip-hop and R&B influences, paired with his undeniable sense of style and flair, made him one of the most sought-after producers in the business. But it was his strategic vision for marketing and branding that set him apart. As Bad Boy Records continued to rise to prominence, Diddy became known for his extravagant lifestyle, his flashy persona, and his ability to market himself and his artists. He was no longer just a music producer, he was a brand. His influence was felt not just in the music world, but also in fashion, film, and television. In the late 1990s, Diddy launched his clothing line Sean John, which quickly became one of the most successful urban fashion brands in the world. The line's success helped cement Diddy's status as a businessman, in addition to his role as a music mogul. Diddy's success was not limited to music and fashion. He ventured into acting, appearing in films such as Monsters Ball and Get Him to the Greek. He also hosted and produced his own television shows, including the hit series Making the Band. These ventures helped Diddy expand his influence beyond the music industry, and he became a household name. But it was not just his business empire that made him a powerful figure. It was his ability to remain relevant and evolve with the changing times. Whether through his music, his fashion, or his media ventures, Diddy always seemed to be one step ahead of the curve. However, Diddy's journey to success was not without its obstacles. While he was building his empire, he was also dealing with personal struggles. In 1999, he was involved in a highly publicized altercation in a New York nightclub, which led to his arrest on charges of criminal possession of a weapon and bribery. The incident was a turning point in Diddy's life, forcing him to reevaluate his priorities. While he ultimately faced no serious legal consequences, the event was a reminder of the pressures and challenges that came with his newfound fame. In 2001, Diddy's life would take another tragic turn when his close friend and collaborator, the notorious B.I.G., was murdered in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. The death of Biggie left Diddy devastated, and it also marked a turning point in his career. The loss of his friend and the subsequent fallout from Biggie's death led to a period of reflection for Diddy. He took a step back from the music industry and focused on his personal life, particularly his relationships and his family. In the years that followed, Diddy would continue to build on his legacy, but his personal life would often take center stage. His high-profile relationships, particularly with Jennifer Lopez and Kim Porter, would keep him in the media spotlight. His relationship with Porter in particular was a defining chapter in his life. The couple had 3 children together, and Porter became a central figure in Diddy's life. However, their relationship was also fraught with drama, and they eventually broke up in 2007. Diddy's life took another tragic turn in 2018 when Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his children, passed away suddenly from complications related to pneumonia. Her death sent shockwaves through Diddy's world, and he publicly mourned her loss, describing her as the love of his life. Porter's death had a profound effect on Diddy, and he would later reflect on the impact it had on his life and his personal growth. The loss of Porter marked the end of one of the most significant chapters in Diddy's life, but it also served as a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing the people we love. Despite these personal tragedies, Diddy's career continued to flourish. He expanded his business empire, became a philanthropist, and continued to dominate the music industry. In 2017, he was named the world's highest-paid hip-hop artist by Forbes, with earnings that exceeded $130 million that year. Diddy's success was a testament to his resilience and his ability to adapt to the changing landscape of the entertainment industry. As Diddy's wealth and influence grew, so did his reputation as a master of reinvention. Whether through his music, his fashion brand, his media ventures, or his philanthropic efforts, Diddy was constantly evolving. But as he reached the peak of his career, the darker side of his life began to emerge: his involvement in various legal battles, including accusations of abuse and manipulation. These allegations would eventually come to a head, leading to his arrest and the legal battles that followed. Now, as Diddy sits behind bars awaiting his trial, his journey is far from over. His rise to fame, his struggles, his triumphs, and his personal battles have all led to this moment. The man who once seemed untouchable is now facing the fight of his life. The question remains, will Diddy's legacy be defined by the empire he built, or by the darkness that threatens to undo it all? Stay tuned as we explore the darker side of Diddy's life and the accusations that have led to his current legal troubles. In the world of entertainment, few stories are as captivating as that of Sean Combs, known by many names: Puff Daddy P. Diddy and simply Diddy. His rise to fame, marked by extraordinary achievements and an almost mythical ability to reinvent himself, has made him one of the most influential figures in modern music and entertainment. But his path to superstardom wasn't an easy one. It was a journey of hard work, strategic vision, and an unrelenting desire to succeed. Diddy's first steps in the music industry came in 1993, when he landed an internship at Uptown Records, a major label that had produced music for stars like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci. At Uptown, he quickly made a name for himself, not just as a talented producer, but as someone who had an innate understanding of what would sell. It was here that he discovered Mary J. Blige, an artist whose raw talent would soon change the sound of R&B. Diddy's work with Blige not only boosted her career, but also earned him credibility within the industry. The success of her debut album, What's the 411, was proof that Diddy knew how to craft hits, and it was a key moment that opened doors for him to make his mark on the music world. However, Diddy's true breakthrough came when he founded his own record label, Bad Boy Records, in 1993. The label was established with a singular vision to bring a new commercial sound to hip-hop. Diddy wanted to create music that appealed not only to the streets, but also to mainstream audiences. He blended hip-hop with R&B, creating a hybrid sound that was both innovative and irresistible. The first major success of Bad Boy came in 1994 with the release of the debut album by the Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die. The album was a smash hit, propelling Biggie to stardom and solidifying Bad Boy's place in the music industry. But it wasn't just Biggie's success that helped Diddy rise to fame. It was his vision for the label and his ability to spot talent. Diddy was more than just a producer. He was a brand builder. He understood the power of image and how to market his artists. His partnerships with other top-tier artists like Faith Evans 112 and Mace helped define the sound of the 1990s, and his ability to blend different musical styles made Bad Boy Records one of the most influential labels of the era. At the same time, Diddy was shaping his own public persona. He wasn't just a behind-the-scenes mogul, he became a recognizable figure in the industry. His flashy style, his iconic puffy persona, and his high-profile public appearances made him a celebrity in his own right. He wasn't content just being a producer, he wanted to be the face of his label, and he succeeded. With his signature tailored suits, his polished image, and his unmistakable swagger, Diddy became a symbol of success in the hip-hop world. As the 1990s progressed, Diddy's reach expanded beyond music. He began to diversify his business ventures, and his influence grew in the fashion world with the launch of his clothing line, Sean John, in 1998. The brand was an instant success, and it quickly became one of the most recognized urban fashion labels in the United States. Sean John's success was groundbreaking. It was the first time a hip-hop mogul had created a fashion brand that was both high-end and accessible. Diddy was no longer just an artist or a producer, he was a business tycoon, and Sean John made him one of the wealthiest and most powerful figures in entertainment. As his wealth grew, so did his influence. In 2001, Diddy made his big-screen debut in the film Monsters Ball, alongside Halle Berry, marking his transition from the music industry to Hollywood. While his acting career was never as prolific as his music and business endeavors, it further cemented his status as a multi-dimensional entertainment mogul. In addition to acting, Diddy also became involved in television production with his hit reality show, Making the Band, debuting in 2002. The show, which aimed to create a new boy band, was a major success and reinforced Diddy's role as a tastemaker and trendsetter. Through his television ventures, Diddy introduced new talent to the world, expanding his empire even further. However, it was his continued success in the music world that kept him at the top. Diddy's ability to produce chart-topping hits and shape the careers of superstars was unmatched. His work with artists like Usher Jodechi and Lil' Kim solidified his reputation as one of the best producers in hip-hop and R&B. In 2004, he released his own album, Press Play, which showcased his talents not only as a producer, but also as a performer. The album featured hit singles like I Am Who I Am and Bad Boy for Life, further solidifying Diddy's place in the hip-hop pantheon. In the early 2000s, Diddy's reputation as a businessman continued to grow. He was consistently ranked among the highest-paid entertainers in the world, and his ventures into real estate spirits with his Ciroc brand of vodka and music streaming platforms helped build a legacy that stretched far beyond the confines of the music industry. Diddy was no longer just a mogul in the entertainment world, he was a global brand, a symbol of success and ambition. But Diddy's fame wasn't just about his business success. He was also known for his larger-than-life personality, his extravagant parties, and his involvement in some of the biggest moments in pop culture. He became synonymous with luxury, fame, and excess. His lifestyle, which was often seen as the epitome of success, was the subject of fascination for many. Diddy was more than just a mogul. He was a cultural icon, and his name became synonymous with both the glitz and the grit of the entertainment industry. The tragic death of his close friend and collaborator, the notorious B.I.G., in 1997 shook the world and had a profound impact on Diddy's career. It was a turning point, forcing him to reflect on the fragility of life and the cost of fame. Diddy used this moment of loss to redefine himself both personally and professionally. He channeled his grief into his work, producing the tribute album No Way Out in 1997, which included the smash hit I'll Be Missing You, a song dedicated to Biggie. The song topped the charts and became one of Diddy's most enduring hits, serving as both a tribute to his fallen friend and a reflection of his ability to turn personal tragedy into creative success. As the years passed, Diddy's influence only continued to grow. In 2010, he was named the world's richest hip-hop artist by Forbes with a net worth of over $500 million. His diverse business ventures, from music and fashion to spirits and marketing, had turned him into a true mogul. In 2017, he was once again ranked as the world's highest-paid hip-hop artist, making over $130 million that year alone. His ability to diversify his brand and stay relevant in an ever-changing industry was a testament to his savvy business acumen and his relentless work ethic. But Diddy's rise to fame was also marked by his ability to remain on the cutting edge of culture. Whether it was his partnership with Ciroc Vodka, his investments in music streaming services like Tidal, or his entrepreneurial ventures in tech and real estate, Diddy consistently proved that he was more than just a producer, he was a visionary. His legacy was not just about the music he produced or the artists he signed, but about his ability to adapt and thrive in a constantly evolving landscape. The rise of social media in the 2010s gave Diddy a new platform to connect with fans and showcase his life. He became an Instagram sensation, sharing glimpses of his lavish lifestyle, his workouts, his fashion choices, and his thoughts on life. His social media presence was a perfect extension of his public persona, glamorous, inspirational, and aspirational. Diddy used Instagram not just to entertain, but to motivate, often posting uplifting messages to his millions of followers about the importance of hard work, perseverance, and self-belief. However, Diddy's fame was not without its controversies. His tumultuous relationships, particularly with his former partners Jennifer Lopez and Kim Porter, kept him in the headlines. But despite the drama that often surrounded his personal life, Diddy remained a dominant force in the entertainment world. His story was one of transformation, both personal and professional, and his rise to fame was a testament to the power of vision, resilience, and an unyielding desire to succeed. Stay with us as we uncover the hidden truths behind Diddy's rise to fame and explore how his journey took a dark turn as he faced his greatest challenges yet. Behind the glitz and glamour of Sean Combs' empire lies a dark side, a side that is often swept under the rug or dismissed in the face of his success. As his empire grew, so did the whispers, rumors of manipulation, abuse, and even criminal activity that painted a very different picture of the mogul. Diddy, a man who had become the face of hip-hop success, had long struggled with his own demons. His rapid rise to power didn't come without its consequences, both for himself and those around him. Diddy's rise to fame had a pattern. As he built his business empire, his personal life and relationships began to unravel. One of the most troubling aspects of his personal history was his involvement in numerous legal battles, particularly allegations of abuse, manipulation, and even violence. In the early 2000s, the media began to take notice of troubling reports surrounding Diddy's interactions with those close to him. From accusations of emotional and physical abuse by former partners, to claims that he used his power to control people around him. Diddy's carefully curated public persona began to show cracks. The most shocking allegations came from his former girlfriend, model and actress Cassandra Ventura, who accused Diddy of assaulting her in 2016. Ventura, who had been in a tumultuous relationship with Diddy for several years, came forward with a detailed account of the violent encounter that occurred in a hotel hallway. A shocking 2016 video surfaced showing a visibly upset Ventura, battered and bruised. In the video, she claimed, "I have a black eye and a fat lip. You are sick for thinking it's okay to do what you've done." These accusations, coupled with text messages exchanged between the two, painted a disturbing picture of Diddy's treatment of Ventura. While Diddy never publicly commented on the matter, the incident was widely discussed in the press, and the case fueled speculation about the darker side of his character. The allegations against Diddy didn't stop with Ventura. There were also reports from former employees, associates, and other women who claimed to have been manipulated, coerced, and even threatened by him. These stories were often dismissed as the result of personal vendettas or as part of the price of fame, but the sheer volume of accusations couldn't be ignored. The more the public learned, the more questions arose about Diddy's use of power, not just in business, but in his personal relationships and interactions. Was this the true face of the man who had been heralded as one of the most successful and influential figures in entertainment? In addition to the allegations of abuse and manipulation, there were also rumors surrounding Diddy's involvement in criminal activity. Several reports over the years have suggested that his rise to power was not just a matter of hard work and business acumen, but also the result of his connection to shady figures in the industry. Some have suggested that Diddy used his influence to protect illicit activities and illegal operations, from drug trafficking to racketeering. These rumors, however, have never been definitively proven, and many dismiss them as conspiracy theories. Still, the very notion of Diddy being involved in illegal activity was enough to tarnish his public image. One of the most striking pieces of evidence that added fuel to the fire of these accusations was his alleged involvement in witness tampering. In the years following his rise to fame, Several individuals connected to Diddy's empire have claimed that he used his power and influence to intimidate or manipulate people to keep them from testifying against him in court. In the case involving Cassandra Ventura, it was alleged that Diddy reached out to her multiple times after the initial altercation using text messages and phone calls in an attempt to persuade her not to go public with the allegations. These accusations of witness tampering raised the stakes for Diddy, making it clear that his legal troubles were far from over. As the years went on, the pressure seemed to mount. His business dealings became more scrutinized. His relationships became more volatile, and his reputation as a family man was called into question. The tragic death of his longtime partner, Kim Porter, in 2018 only added another layer of mystery to Diddy's life. Porter, the mother of 3 of Diddy's children, was found dead from complications of pneumonia at the age of 47. While her death was officially ruled to be from natural causes, the timing and circumstances surrounding her passing led to widespread speculation. Porter had been in relatively good health leading up to her death, and Diddy's devastated response to her passing raised questions about their relationship and the dynamics of their family life. Did Diddy's darker tendencies play a role in Porter's death, or was it simply another tragic event in his life? Following Porter's death, Diddy became increasingly reclusive, retreating from the public eye. His fans, who had once admired his relentless ambition and success, began to question whether the mogul they had long celebrated was the same man behind closed doors. The public's perception of Diddy began to shift as people became more aware of the hidden truths that had long been buried beneath his image. Despite these accusations and rumors, Diddy has continued to maintain his innocence, stating that he is simply a man who has made mistakes like everyone else. He has claimed that his relationships and personal life have been blown out of proportion by the media, and that the allegations against him are exaggerated or fabricated. His supporters point to his many charitable endeavors, including his work with the Ciroc vodka brand and his investments in various businesses and projects. They argue that Diddy is a self-made mogul who has given back to his community and inspired countless others to follow in his footsteps. But no matter how much Diddy's supporters defend him, the shadows of his past continue to loom over him. The allegations of abuse, criminal activity, and witness tampering have left an indelible mark on his reputation, and the ongoing legal battles only serve to reinforce the perception that Diddy's world is far more complicated than it appears. As his trial progresses and the details of his past come to light, the truth about Diddy's dark side may finally be revealed. Is he the mogul we've come to know and admire, or is there a far more sinister side to the man behind the empire? The road to redemption is never easy, and for Diddy it may never be fully achievable. His story is one of triumph and tragedy, of success and scandal. And as his legal battles unfold, we may finally learn whether his legacy will be defined by the empire he built or the darkness that threatens to undo it. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the upcoming trial and what it could mean for the future of Diddy's empire. As Diddy's legal battles continue to unfold, one thing is clear: his life's story is far from over. For a man who once seemed untouchable, the empire he worked so tirelessly to build now hangs in the balance. From his humble beginnings in Harlem to the heights of global fame, wealth, and power, Sean Combs has experienced it all. But the question remains, what will his legacy be? Diddy's rise to fame was nothing short of extraordinary. He went from being an intern at Uptown Records to creating one of the most successful record labels in the world, Bad Boy Records. He built a multifaceted empire, making waves in music, fashion, television, and even spirits. For decades, he was celebrated as a visionary, an artist, a mogul, a cultural icon. He was the symbol of success for an entire generation, showing that with ambition and hustle, anything was possible. Yet behind the glitz and glamour, there were cracks in the foundation of his empire. The accusations of abuse, manipulation, and violence, the whispers of criminal activity, and the allegations of witness tampering have cast a long shadow over his achievements. The tragic death of Kim Porter, his high-profile relationships, and the legal battles have all painted a picture of a man wrestling with the darker sides of fame and power. As Diddy faces the fight of his life in court, the public is left to wonder if the man who built an empire on resilience and reinvention can truly overcome the dark side that threatens to unravel it all. Will he emerge from this trial victorious, clearing his name and reclaiming his legacy? Or will the truth behind the empire he built be the very thing that brings it all crashing down? The final revelation lies in how Diddy faces the consequences of his actions. Whether or not he is convicted, this trial represents a pivotal moment in his life, a crossroads where his past and present collide. His fate will not only shape his own future, but will also determine how the world remembers him. Can Diddy redeem himself, or will he become a cautionary tale of power corruption and the cost of success? Final revelation. As the trial progresses and the truth slowly comes to light, one thing remains certain. Diddy's legacy will always be tied to both his rise and his fall. The question remains, though, what will that legacy ultimately be? If you've been captivated by Diddy's rise to fame and the shocking truths behind his empire, make sure to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence. Join us as we continue to explore the untold stories of Black icons, shedding light on their triumphs, their struggles, and the complexities of their legacies. Don't miss the next chapter. Stay tuned for more fascinating, emotional, and revealing stories of greatness. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more stories from Legends of Black Excellence, where we bring you the truth behind the legends.